Like, oh, not again.
I saw this. I don't know. It was a joke. It was something, but a guy was like, I don't got that. He's like, don't give me two hands. Don't give me a two-hand twister.
It was fucking Deon at the show last weekend.
Was it Deon?
Yes, he
Oh
was like, I don't like good head.
He said some of you are like this.
How did you learn that?
Yeah.
He says some of you are like this.
Yes.
Some of you are like this. It's like I had a girl do this, and I was like, you can get rid of that second hand.
Yeah.
I can't even see my dick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't got that.
He has a similar bit that's about good pussy, too, where he's just talking about how he don't want that, this, that, and the other. Yeah.
So I posted like the montage of us at Deon Cole, and my aunt.
That was some good shit.
My aunt was like, "Did you let him know that I'm a vintage woman?"
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "God damn it!" I was like, I happen to forget.
That is a funny ass dude.
It's a good bit. It's a good bit.
He is a funny ass dude.
I did go on and watch. I watched the first episode of his show.
The Average Joe thing.
Maybe the first two.
I
I haven't
binged
watched it yet.
Yeah.
You binged it?
I'm going to continue to watch it, but it didn't draw me in right
No,
away.
you got to get past that first episode.
But
it's not.
It's not a comedy.
It's not.
But it's comedy-esque.
It's weird. It's weird. And once you watch more than one episode, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is what?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, outline. We just went to see Deon Cole's comedy show here in the local region.
Mm-hmm.
The movie or bit that got me to really like him wasn't Netflix. It was before Netflix. It was Barbershop 3. Do you remember that?
I don't even remember him being on that. That's crazy.
Exactly. So, you had Barbershop, and you had Barbershop 2. Who's the you had the one character that always had like the ad libs and stuff. I forget his name because he's a comedian too. Sucks. I forget his name. But in the third,
D-Ray, was he in that?
D-Ray.
I was gonna say, man.
But in the third,
he's way cuter in person than he is in his pictures and shit. Just FYI.
Yeah,
in case
totally.
In case anybody's wondering,
cuter.
It wasn't.
I was thrown off by that.
That's fair. But it was 3 was Deon Cole kind of being that character. And he was hilarious. I had no idea who this guy was at that point. And that means, like, if he's in this movie, he's done stand-up. He's done this. He's done this. He's worked his way up. But it was that movie. I was like, this guy is hilarious. And then it became the Netflix specials, the clips on the YouTubes and the social media and stuff like that. No, like, hilarious.
I saw him on Black-ish first, and he was hilarious on it. Then I saw his Netflix special where he slap. Yep.
Right. But I feel like he came out like cold. Like he wasn't the first granted, I'm not knocking the show. The show was hilarious. That first 15 minutes though, I felt like I was like, does he even want to be here? Like, did you guys get that feeling?
Oh, at what we just went to?
Like, that first 15 minutes, do you guys feel like he was
very
just warming up?
But I feel like that's just him, though. Like, he's very nonchalant, just chilling, just kind of like chewing his gum, looking around like, all right, I'm going to say some random shit.
So
you
he
can take
did
it or
say,
leave it, you know?
He did say he just came off tour.
True.
And he's going to work on new shit.
True. And
which is what these comedians will do at smaller clubs.
And he also said he was joked out because he's
joked out and he's working on new stuff.
I get that.
However, some of his stuff was from years ago that I just listened on Spotify.
Oh,
yeah, so it was
not all of it was new.
I think what threw me off is that I knew his pauses because of his specials, where he'll pause and he cut his eyes.
Looks around. Yep.
But he was cutting his eyes and then he would just look up, and you could tell he was thinking. But if you don't know comedians, you're like, what is going on right
I think
now?
that's just him.
But someone that's like knows, I didn't say I know comedians, but you get the setup, especially if they tell you, they're like, I'm going to try some stuff. I'm going to try some stuff. But it was like, for a while, there's a couple of times where he was just like, and you're like, okay. And that's kind of hard because you expect the ball to keep bouncing.
Yeah.
But then
I don't
15
know.
minutes in, oh, that ball was bouncing, and everything was gold. Everything was gold.
It could have just been that he was feeling out the crowd because it is different with every crowd. Absolutely. Like, I just went to a show. What's today? Today's Sunday. I just went to a show last night. Guy Tori.
Oh, you went to Guy Tori?
Yes.
How was that?
It was fabulous.
Really? Yes. Did he get a Starburst?
He did not get a Starburst, but he got a star.
Okay.
He got a star.
That's decent.
That's also hard to get for me.
If you guys don't know, she's got a ranking system. Starburst is the highest.
Yes.
Stars next. And then, like, I don't even know what after that, just their name.
There's Starburst, Star, there's okay, and then there's the Red X.
Okay, fair enough.
I've ranked over 50 comedians. I only rank you if you've headlined. Usually the Starbursts are the people that I make sure I see them again because they had me in tears laughing.
Right.
Yeah, no, he was good. And he came out saying, I'm like working on he came out saying something about like working on a special or something. You know, I'm working on content for a special or something like that. Okay. Like kind of like
he's refining.
Yeah. And so I was, I've never seen any of his stuff before, so I really don't know his content. Movies. It wasn't like Deon where I'm like, oh, I remember that joke. I've heard that before, but it's still funny because he delivers it different, But no, I was laughing hard.
Yeah.
He was actually really, really good. He was wild with some of the shit he was saying. Yeah. He was a funny guy. I would see him again. I really would. I would go see him again. Yeah, I definitely recommend him. But that's the thing is like he came out saying like what you were saying about Deon. He's, I'm kind of working on some content here type thing. And I feel like what you were saying as far as like these smaller clubs, that's kind of where they test out the waters and see. Definitely. And he had made those comments of, the last show. Yeah. They were cool with this joke. I don't know. Yeah. I think you guys might be able to handle it because every audience is different. Yeah. And you kind of got to feel it out. So I'm wondering if that first 15 minutes with Deon was him kind of like,
let me see where
do I want to go with this?
Yeah.
No, is this the crowd for this one?
True.
Or not? Maybe it's just Deon being Deon.
No, it was fabulous. But like that makes perfect sense. Like, where can I go with this crowd? Like, should I go left?
Let me ask you a question though. Right? Was it $50 fabulous?
What?
Or did this guy fucking gouge me on my ticket price?
No, I actually gave you a discount. You owe me money.
I owe you money? How much was that ticket?
It's it was almost 60.
Yeah. Was that $60 worth?
Well, because the fees and all that shit,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was being nice to you. No,
he charged you for the ticket price, not for the fees.
Well, I appreciate that. You're very generous.
Yeah, not the way you came at me. No, I'm gonna let you know right now. Like that.
Well, no, that $784.
Actually one of his jokes.
You came out with that deep ass voice. No, I know where you were going with that shit. I knew you were going.
That was one of his jokes. Oh, he's like, "Hey, I'm working on some new shit," and he was like, "Y'all motherfuckers didn't come here like pay $50 for me to work on new shit." Yeah, that was one of his kind of jokes, I was like, I
don't remember that.
Well, I did. Like, I did not pay that money.
I would say this.
I want your best. Actually, I appreciate people working on stuff. I actually like that. Yeah. I think it's cool to see people craft a joke because if you, like, oh, I remember when he told it this way and now he told it that way and, it's so much better. Yeah. It shows you the art and craft of comedy.
Now, I would say this. From someone who, before started going to smaller venues, only went to big venues when it came to comedy shows. I remember going to see Chris Rock at Paramount, and it's triple digits plus.
Oh, you mean where Dan Cook's at?
Exactly. This is why I'm not going. Yeah. Triple digits plus some. Yeah. You expected just like the best. Yeah. Still prefer a smaller venue. Because it's more of an intimate setting. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I would rather them practice that.
You can see their facial expressions too, and without having to like try to watch the screen, but watch their body language at the same time.
A table away from the stage? We were like right there. Yeah. You feel more invited into the show. Chris Rock, I'm triple digits. I'm up in their upper levels. I'm looking at the monitor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even recently, seeing Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. Again, very expensive tickets. I'm up in the upper level, knees hurting, cramped up, looking at the monitor the whole time. I can still see the ant on stage, but I'm up in the monitor. I would rather have that intimacy. Even if they're practicing, I would prefer that for $50 any day.
Yeah, for a big name. Big name.
Yeah.
Now, like, $20 to $30 my wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah.
For your everyday local comedian, sure.
No, I'm not.
Nah, I've seen some big names where it's these smaller venues.
Yeah.
Like I've seen Hannibal Buress. He was in a big venue. What was that? The place in Kent. What is that? Showware?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Saw him there. Again, watching on the monitors, But I've seen big names at these smaller venues. Marlon Wayans.
Well, what's
Bill
a smaller?
Bellamy.
What do you mean smaller venue?
Tacoma Comedy
super
Club.
funny and Tacoma Comedy Club.
Exactly.
Yeah, these smaller places
These are
where
big names.
Well, I mean,
no matter where you're sitting, you're gonna be able to see them like personally, not have to watch them on the screen.
And I know where you're
type
getting
shit,
at. Big names, maybe not as relevant now. Is that where you're going with?
yeah.
I feel like Marlon's
Yeah,
But the thing is, though, is like you got stadiums. You're selling those out. You got the comedy clubs. That's what they do. They book people. You go on tour nationally. You fucking book out the clubs.
But
Right.
But how many times have
For
you heard of a
Because you're
big-
going, because they're in Tacoma, the comedy club tonight, and then they're up in Vancouver, BC tomorrow.
True, but how
So
many?
boom, boom, boom. They
how
can't
many
do stadiums
big
every night.
comedians have you seen be like just show up at a comedy club and do a quick 10 because they don't want anyone to know they're there?
It's called
No.
the Tight 10. But, it's cool.
But also, these tours don't just consist of these smaller clubs. They also consist of these giant theaters that they're also selling out, where
Matt
they're
Rife.
selling out levels.
Okay.
Matt
Right?
Rife is a perfect example of it. He did 2 days in Seattle and then came down to Super Funny. That's dope. That's dope. Granted, like you said, he had a history there because he was there before he was
Right, before he blew up.
big,
Yeah.
you know?
But there's other people that are still doing theater shows and selling out the
'cause
theaters
they get
that
it.
still go to these smaller clubs. Marlon's selling out theaters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But he's also still doing these smaller venues.
There's so many comedians doing that.
Well, I think
Who else?
I can't speak for them, but that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
That's where they start. That's
Yeah.
that's your
Yeah.
I think
environment.
there's got to be
Yeah.
something like
And so getting back to
nostalgia
that,
about it. Yeah.
yeah, and then just having that. So where we're getting that same intimate connection, they're getting it too.
True.
Whereas in a stadium, it's like you got your front row there, and then it's all this. So,
True.
as a stand-up, that's your bread. That's where you started, was in that environment. And so it's just like I think there's something baked into being a stand-up that probably always draws you to those venues, and you're gonna want to give them love, right? Because it's those places where you got your start.
Yeah.
And it was not the best club.
True.
And then you made it to the Comedy Cellar in New York,
Right.
or what's the one in L.A.?
Flappers.
No,
don't know.
that sounds like a strip club. There's like the L.A. joint where you've made it.
I know where
when
you're
you're
talking
there,
about. There's
and
a
you
couple,
got
I
the
think,
Comedy
in LA.
Cellar. You've
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah.
Like
Improv? No?
no.
There's a few. No,
I don't know
like, there's
the-
a few in LA. I think like Laugh.
Oh,
Comedy
yeah,
Club or
yeah.
something like that.
So anyway, you're like, okay, when
they're
you get on
technically
there,
all over.
you're good. You're going places. If you can maintain it, so that's cool. And then there's like, but those are intimate settings.
Yeah.
So that's what comedy is about. Yeah. Anyway.